Hello. So it is April the 20th, and I'm going to start the read aloud with Amelia Bedelia. And the title, of course, is Amelia Bedelia, but it says Amelia Bedelia means business. Let me set my timer, Hudson Sonnets, and we'll get started. Okay, there. Amelia Bedelia means business. Written by Herman Parrish, pictures by Lynn Avril. Chapter 1, Money is the Root. Or route. Money is the route. Amelia Bedelia never meant to lead a pack of dogs in a wild goose chase. She never meant to steal something and then sell it. She never meant to make someone look bad, very bad, or lead a parade astray, or even stomp on a piece of perfectly delicious cherry pie. But all that and more actually happened. Amelia Bedelia needed to earn some money. The truth was, Amelia Bedelia needed to earn a lot of money. Maybe that was the real problem. Earning some money would have been easy. Amelia Bedelia could have planted petunias for a neighbor or fed a cat while its owner was on vacation. But such small jobs would never have earned the wheelbarrows full of money Amelia Bedelia needed to make. It all started innocently enough when Amelia Bedelia decided that she wanted a new bike. But then one thing led to another, and until the mayor of Amelia Bedelia's town finally said, "That Amelia Bedelia, she means business." Here's what happened. Chapter 2. T period H period E period bike. That's what it says. Amelia Bedelia adored her bike. It was a great bike. It was fast and dependable, and she learned to ride on it. She could never tell how it gotten very bent. She could tell you what happened, self-correct. She could tell you how it had gotten dent. She could tell you what had chipped each fragment of paint from the frame and what had made those rusty scratches on the chrome. She could match each insult to her bike to an injury on her body. Scabs on her knees, scrapes to her elbows, bruises on her shins, and a tiny sliver of scar under her chin. Amelia Bedelia had parked her bike at the bike rack. She was about to go into the school when she saw some kids buzzing around Suzanne Scroggins. Suzanne. Suzanne was the new girl this year. She told all her friends to call her Susie. Amelia Bedelia still called her Suzanne. Even though Amelia Bedelia sat right behind her. Amelia Bedelia had never figured out why Suzanne was so crabby and bossy. Amelia Bedelia had never figured out why Suzanne was so crabby and bossy every day. Every day except for today, of course, since it was the last day of school before vacation. Amelia Bedelia noticed the difference right away. Suzanne was smiling from ear to ear. Then Amelia Bedelia saw why. Suzanne had a new bike. It was the most beautiful bike in the world. Amelia Bedelia was so speechless, but she did make a sound. It was the takes your breath away, inhaling sound that you can't control when you see something amazing. T period H period E period bike was painted a rich emerald green with metal flakes that sparkled like diamonds floating just beneath the smooth enamel surface. Gleaming chrome reflected the morning sun, dazzling Amelia Bedelia's eyes. She tried to look away, but she could not take her eyes off the bike. It hurt to look. It hurt more not to look. Every inch of the bike was so streamlined that it looked as though it was still moving, even after Suzanne had parked it. From the back of her throat, Amelia Bedelia managed to croak, "Nice bike." "Thank you," said Suzanne. "But bikes are bikes." "That's true," said Amelia Bedelia. "Just two wheels with spokes and lots of gears," said Suzanne. "I don't have any gears," said Amelia Bedelia. Not really anything on there to see. "Two tires, definitely," said Suzanne. "Not really," said Amelia Bedelia. "I don't get too tired without gears." "Brakes?" said Suzanne. "Sometimes my bike breaks," said Amelia Bedelia. "Then my dad fixes it." The bell rang. It was time to go inside. As Suzanne locked her bike at the rack, she said, "Don't forget to lock up your bike, Amelia Bedelia." That was when the truth hit Amelia Bedelia. She had never locked up her bike. She didn't have to because it wasn't worth stealing. Who would want it? After seeing T period, H period, E period, bike. Amelia Bedelia didn't. That's for sure. Everyone followed Suzanne into the school, leaving Amelia Bedelia to ponder the difference between the two bikes. She felt bad for her bike. She felt bad about feeling bad about her bike. She felt bad, period. Finding out that life is unfair was no way to start the day. It was certainly no way to start a school vacation. Unfair. Remember that word, unfair? That afternoon, compound word, afternoon. That afternoon after school, Amelia Bedelia avoided everyone, even her friends. She hid behind the dumpster, listening to the laughter and the jokes and the cries of, "Have a good break." Finally, Amelia Bedelia got on her bike and rode home. She took the back way so no one would see her. Chapter 3. There but for the grace. There but for the grace. "And please," said Amelia Bedelia, "bring me a new bike." Amen. After she finished saying her grace, Amelia Bedelia dove into her supper. Her parents did not begin to eat. They just looked at her, then at each other. Her mom arched her eyebrows as high as it would go. Her dad opened his eyes wider. Self-correction. Her dad opened his eyes super wide for a couple of seconds, as if someone had stepped on his stomach. Had Amelia Bedelia been paying attention instead of twirling her spaghetti and dreaming about bikes, she would have seen this secret eye talk that all parents use to communicate with each other, with each other when their kids are present. Amelia Bedelia's father unfolded his napkin, spread it on his lap, and then asked, "So, has anyone seen any nice bikes lately?" Amelia Bedelia sat up straight without having to be told and exclaimed, You wouldn't believe the bike I saw today." She spent the next 10 minutes giving her parents an inch by inch description of the most beautiful bike in the world, down to the last spoke. "Goodness," said Amelia Bedelia's mother, "a bike that special must cost an arm and a leg." That's the money, and then that's the arm, and then that's the leg. Do you remember that when we was reading poetry, The Exaggeration, when they talked about you took the words right out of my mouth, things like that. Um, that's the end of the book up until page 14. So help me to remember that I stopped at page 14, and I hope everybody have a nice night. Good night.